Hey! And welcome to another edition of Finders Seekers.
We take deep dives into shallow topics. Today we'll be talking about one of Hollywood's favorite inside jokes, the Wilhelm Scream, and why using it means that Hollywood won't need actors anymore.
But first, what is the Wilhelm Scream? Indiana Jones, Titanic, The Seven Brothers Meet Dracula. If you've seen any of these iconic movies from the past 60 years, odds are you've heard it. It's the sound effect of a man screaming, often used when someone falls off of a tall object or sees AJ in the shower.
The effect was first used in the 1951 film Distant Drum, starring Gary Cooper. The film is about a group of American soldiers facing off against the Seminole tribe in the Everglades.
During the film, one of the soldiers is attacked by an alligator, and he unleashes the most iconic scream of all time. Sorry, Kevin Sorbo.
Disappointed!
The sound effect, recorded in post-production, was eventually added to the Warner Brothers sound library and used in many subsequent films.
One day, a budding sound designer named Ben Burt recognized the scream in many of the films he was watching. He and his friends dubbed it the Wilhelm Scream, after the character he first noticed it from, Private Wilhelm, in the 1963 film The Charge at Feather River.
To keep the joke going, Burt eventually used the scream in his first major project, a little film called Star Wars, for which he won his first Oscar.
Since then, the scream has been used in hundreds of films, from filmmakers like Quentin Tarantino and Peter Jackson, in everything from Face Off to Osmosis Jones.
A double feature I like to call Bodies Don't Work Like That.
Now, why does the use of this seemingly innocuous sound effect bode the death of the acting profession? One word: copyright. Goodness, is it in the room?
Okay, we know just using the word copyright could put a four-locoed Alex Jones to sleep.
No, not really, because someone would have tried it by now. But bear with us. It's not entirely confirmed who the artist behind the scream was, but most think it was Sheb Wooley. Oddly enough, most famous for his song, Purple People Eater.
Due to the sound effect's age, iconic nature, and no copyright defense, it has been entered into the public domain, which means Sheb Wooley and his estate have never paid for its thousands of uses. And even if there was a copyright, it would have expired 50 years later in 2001.
If we followed the Wilhelm Scream's history, there is a chance production companies could theoretically do the same thing, but with an actor's full visual and voice performance.
Using a combination of 3D scanning, performance capture, and good old VFX technology, Industrial Light and Magic was able to recreate Peter Cushing's performance as Grand Moff Tarkin in Rogue One.
Now, Disney did get the rights to his likeness from the Cushing estate, but according to the Celebrities' Rights Act, a celebrity's likeness is protected for 70 years after the death, and then it becomes public domain. But an effect like that costs tens of thousands of dollars and hundreds of man-hours to pull off. So don't expect Some Like It Hot 2, Some Like It Hotter to be coming to theaters anytime soon.
I give you a real serious eye roll. However, emerging advancements in machine learning algorithms that analyze facial deformation is making similar effects possible without the need for an expensive 3D pipeline. And that is a sentence if I say too many times, I'll get a headache and throw up.
Last year, Adobe, a consumer tech company, released the beta for their new Voco software, which only needs 40 minutes of analyzed talking to replicate any sentence you type.
Just like that. But unlike theirs, they don't sound like a robot. This year, researchers at the University of Washington unveiled an AI that was able to create a video of a person speaking solely based on an audio clip.
And companies like Faceware are already using markerless tracking to capture actors' faces for video games. Tech that could easily be applied to retargeting actors' performances from old films to new ones.
Shove these programs together and you got Hollywood pulling what is essentially a slightly more sophisticated Weekend at Bernie's.
Now, this sounds like a bad science fiction movie. And that's because it was. Simone, starring Al Pacino. But actors are legitimately worried and are starting to take precautions against it.
Mark Rosler, chairman of an agency that represents celebrity estates, CMG Worldwide, said that celebrities are increasingly involved in making plans to protect intellectual property rights. They understand that their legacy will continue beyond their lifetime.
That's right. Actors have now started to stipulate in wills what types of movies that they will be able to play in after they are dead.
Unfortunately for them, just like the Wilhelm Scream, actors' performances are originally owned by the studio, who can use it any way they want without the actor's permission. Before we get too alarmist, this, we should specify that the technology is still a long way away before it could completely replace actors, thank God. But with Paul Walker's brother taking over for him in Fast and Furious, and Star Wars now trying to option Carrie Fisher's likeness to be used in the next couple films, it's clear that Hollywood is not afraid of moving in that direction.
If anything is to be learned from Hollywood's treatment of the Wilhelm Scream, it's that as more and more actors' likenesses enter into the public domain, they will increasingly appear in Hollywood films.
But on the bright side, that means we're going to get some new categories at the Academy Awards, like Best Posthumous Actor, and that Billy Crystal will officially host them forever.
Thanks for tuning in. If you have any thoughts on the subject, please comment down below and tell us how you feel about dead actors appearing in future films. Until next time, this has been Finders Seekers.